Hello, curling fans, and welcome inside the Bell Alliance Center in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. It's men's quarterfinal action from the HearingLife Tour Challenge. John Cullen alongside Chelsea Carey for this men's quarterfinal matchup between Team Matt Dunstone and Team Brad Jacobs. And Chelsea, it had been maybe a little bit of a slow start to the year so far for Team Jacobs, making the quarterfinal in Okotoks, the semifinal at the PointsBet, but they have looked fantastic so far this week in Charlottetown.
Absolutely, and a slow start is all relative.
Of course, yes.
That's a slow start by Team Jacobs standards. Of course, we know them all individually as powerhouse players, and Brad joining this team this year, so a new squad, new lineup, and there's always going to be a little bit of growing pains with that kind of thing, and still figuring it out a bit, but they do look like they've got it locked down here in Charlottetown so far, so should expect a really good game out of those boys.
Yeah, they came through the A side undefeated. Matt Dunstone had to take the long C road to get here. It's been a little uneven of a start to the year for Matt Dunstone, and he told me before the PointsBet they actually lost their opening game in the PointsBet to Team McDonald, and was just saying he kind of felt like the team had yet to get their legs under them. I would imagine Chelsea, you get into the quarterfinals, that's great, but no better way maybe to find your footing than to pick up a win here and move on to the semifinals.
Absolutely, and this is a heavyweight clash here on both sides. Of course, we know Team Dunstone and how good they are and how good they have been over the years and last season, and so yeah, like they'd be a little disappointed certainly with their results at the PointsBet, but they would gladly trade that for a good run here at a slam, I think. So I would expect a really good game out of both teams. This should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. I think these are two teams we're going to see battle a lot this season, and it's nice to see them get one under their belt early here. And Chelsea, you were obviously in this event, and we've seen the ice get a little bit quicker and a little bit curlier as the week has gone on. Tell us a little bit, as someone who played on the surface, about how it's running, what it looks like here on Saturday. And you just called the game before this one too.
Yeah, I think it's definitely gotten a little bit better speed-wise. It was pretty slow to start the week out, but still you're going to see if a path sits for any length of time, it definitely gets a lot slower again. It'll affect the men slightly less because their sweeping can get through the frost a little bit easier than for the women, but it's definitely can be a little bit tricky, but there's lots of curl, so no reason not to make a ton of shots, and the draw weight hasn't been bad. You just have to expect if it sits that it will get that little bit heavier.
Yeah, fair enough. It's definitely been, we would say tracky as curlers, where you definitely have to keep an eye on what each of the paths are doing, and it's not always easy to manage. And I think as we get ready for this game here, and the Charlottetown fans, no surprise, love Brad Gajou. They're just losing their mind as Robbie Doherty's out there doing the team introductions as they're getting ready to play Ross White. But, Chelsea, new team for you. Let's talk about your team for a little bit here before this game gets going. A little bit of a disappointing week here in Charlottetown, but how's it been going so far? I think a lot of people were eagerly anticipating seeing how things are going to look with you taking over for Jennifer Jones. Tell us a little bit about how things are going there.
Yeah, it's been great. The girls are awesome. They're super talented. They work really hard, and they're good teammates and good people, and it's fun to be around them. Obviously, we would have hoped for better results here, but we felt like we played better than our results for the most part, with the exception of maybe our last game. So, there's no easy games at slams, and you need some stuff to be going your way, and unfortunately for us, that wasn't really the case this week, but good things, and we feel good, and we're building and building. It was only our third event. We played 7 games coming in before we got here, so still really, for us, early in the season, we had a bit of a later start than than some of the teams. So yeah, still, you know, some room to improve and some growing pains there too, but overall really good, and we're having a blast, and the girls are awesome, so I couldn't ask for a better setup.
Nice. No, that's awesome. I think, yeah, everybody felt like you were the right fit for the team, and looking forward to seeing how it all comes together throughout the season. So we're just about ready to get underway here in our men's quarterfinal game. We'll meet the teams. This is Team Brad Jacobs out of the Glencoe Club in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Skip is Brad Jacobs. Third, Mark Kennedy. Second, Brett Gallant, the hometown boy here in Charlottetown. And the lead is Ben Hebert. And on the opposite side of the sheet from Winnipeg, Manitoba, it is Team Dunstone. Skip is Matt Dunstone. Third, BJ Neufeld. Second, Colton Lott. And lead, Ryan Harnden. And it will be Ryan Harnden who gets the game underway for us here. Team Jacobs starting with hammer by virtue of their superior triple knockout finish. As we said, Matt Dunstone coming through the C side, Jacobs qualifying through A. So Jacobs will have the hammer in every game they play in the playoffs, unless they play a fellow A qualifier, in which case they will go back to drawing to the button for that privilege.
I think you're good to go.
This is also, of course, a rematch of the A final. It was Jacobs against Dunstone in that A final, and Matt jumped out to an early 3-0 lead in the first end before eventually succumbing 7-5. So we'll see if he can get started just as quickly here today.
Line's great. It's always beach. Give room, Matt. Never needs to curl. Oh, hold on. I get depth. Good spot.
Okay.
So you heard them say sit because if that rock comes off of the center line, it can be ticked. Although I don't think Brad Jacobs was ever entertaining the tick anyway.
I think it comes into play later in the end with that, because now if Ben buries around this, then eventually, then if Team Dunstone freezes, then for Team Jacobs, you can afford to play tight to the guard. So you can throw that backline hack weight chase where you might not throw it if it was touching the center line, because then if you were to tick it, your rock would come off. So I think that's where it would matter more. I don't think they were ever going to play the tick on the first shot, but it changes maybe later in the end how aggressive you get while that free guard zone is still in play.
Real good. Late for sure.
So a freeze down to it is indeed the call here for Ryan Harnden. A few Olympic gold medals out here on the sheet today.
Just a couple.
Yeah, Ryan Harnden has one of those playing with Brad Jacobs. Of course, they were winners in 2014 in Sochi, and we know Ben and Mark also winning in 2010 on home ice in Vancouver.
Go ahead. Hard line. Hard line. You never off your line. Come on, Beach, go.
This was really curling, trying to hold the line.
Gotta go. Okay, well, 14-8.
And just over curls a little bit on Ryan.
He's full 8.
Half 8. Love it. Be quick here now. Rub.
No.
Rub. Same way.
Rub. Max.
Rub. Rub. Right here. We're close. Sweep it for here. We're close. Sweep it for here. We still have room.
No, we're heavy.
It's a little wide and a little heavy here, I think, for Ben Hebert. Not quite the same track as his first.
Okay, Ben.
And I don't think that's where they would have wanted that one, Chelsea.
Definitely not. They were hoping to get to that red rock, corner freeze on the red. This is going to leave either a double or a hit and roll for Matt Dunstone. Has both options, so definitely not what they were looking for. That spot did get quite fast. I heard Team Dunstone say that Ryan's was 14-8, so that's quicker than what we saw pretty much the whole week. So definitely a little bit faster and straighter, and especially once what you find on ice conditions like this is that when Team Dunstone goes end to end on that draw of Ryan Harden's, that keens up that path really quick. So they've kind of polished it and buffed it up. So then for Ben, between his first one and his second one, the path has gotten probably 4 or 5 feet faster.
So they won't quite get both of the yellows out. but it is Matt Dunstone lying 2 here.
Right here, Brett. Peel.
You're throwing the double. You have to be a little bit careful not to jam this, but it is makeable.
Okay, buddy, get on the line.
Our first look at Brett Gallant here, and yeah, definitely safe to say that this Charlottetown crowd has been firmly on the side of Team Gouju, but they have also had a lot of love for Team Jacobs here this week as they do avoid the jam. Really good from Brett Gallant there. They're definitely, you can hear the claps there, appreciative of their native son coming back for the week to throw some stones. And I know for him, he's enjoyed being back, getting to see family and enjoying the hometown love here.
Yeah, we had that experience too. Lauren Lenentine, our lead, is also from here, so we had a lot of fans and a lot of people come. She's a rock star in Charlottetown. It's been fun to watch.
Well, you probably saw we talked about it earlier this week, and Colton trying for the run double here. I'm not sure that that's going to get quite to it, and it won't.
Shot, Colt.
Okay, Colt.
So a good try from Colton, but Jacobs lying 1 with the hammer here. But yeah, I posted a picture of it on Instagram because you never, I played lead my whole career. Not that I was ever a great one, but you don't often see a cardboard cutout for the lead. But we were at a restaurant here, The Local, which is just across the street from the arena, and they had a Lauren Lenentine cutout in the bar, and that's how I knew.
Yeah,
that's how I knew how big how famous she is here.
Yeah, I said that too when you posted it. I hadn't seen it. I said, "Oh, Lauren, you have a cutout." And she said, "Yeah, I've met her once." I've never had one, so she's.
You've never had a cutout?
Never.
What?
Never.
2-time Scotties champion doesn't get a cutout? Well, we'll have to fix that for you. I know some people.
Yeah, you got the connections.
I got some connections.
I've had people fans do the head thing, but I've never had a cutout at a slam, like one of those standalone ones.
I always feel like I wouldn't want the big head thing. I feel
it's
like
a bit strange, for sure. Yeah. There's a picture of me holding it, and it was like a bit of a weird experience.
Just like I don't think I need to see my face that large.
No, well,
I don't think that's good for anybody.
Well, and to hold it next to your own face is just quite the experience,
So another run back try here for BJ Neufeld.
Straight.
Brett Gallant made the draw nicely.
Hard! Hard!
This is curling. And does it move it far enough? I don't think so.
No, not quite.
Still shot stone belonging to Brad Jacobs.
Okay. Is that done? Think I like the draw.
You get a lot lot of honesty from Brad Jacobs out there.
The eloquence there was something.
Is that dumb?
Yeah.
Is this dumb?
14-2.
I know I've asked that before too, so
Yeah.
I'm not, no shame.
Yeah. Usually it's a little soft. Usually, hey, you guys like this? Not, would I be really stupid? Would we be dumb if we did this?
And you don't want the answer to be yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You're really hoping they go, no, it's not dumb. But sometimes the answer is yes, and then you're like, oh, oops.
It shouldn't be.
I don't think it's dumb necessarily. I don't want to do it, but I don't think it's dumb per se.
You can tell by the tone of voice and the answer sometimes if they actually think it's dumb or not.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what they say.
Yeah. This looks a little heavy here from Mark Kennedy trying to draw around that same guard Brett Gallant did, but not quite the same path, just with that weight, Chelsea. And I don't know if Matt can see enough of it to do anything with it other than freeze.
Yeah, I think you could play the chase, but I don't know if you can make the double, so then it's not really going to help you very much. If you freeze, you could take this whole end away in theory. Yeah, that's the problem. If you make the freeze, he can come off that side red and make the double, and then now you're not very happy because he's sitting too buried.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed to be Matt's main concerns. They're going to try the run again. I don't usually see BJ miss two of these in a row, so I'd expect this to be close.
Okay, thanks. That's it. Agreed.
Ryan trying to bring this over, and it will stick for shot. So Jacobs will have to do something with that.
Nose is good. You're good on the nose. You like 10.5, right on the nose, Mark.
It's a 10.5, Brett. Yeah. I expect us to come up with the right weight.
Clean.
So you can't roll too far here if you're Mark Kennedy.
Clean.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Want to be lying 2 when this is all said and done.
Yeah, hard.
You're talking about right on the nose. I think that's probably what they're trying for. Pretty close.
Pretty close, yep. Team Jacobs does lie 2.
Add 10 on that.
That's a heavy control.
Yeah.
Control?
Yeah. Maybe a little more than that. No,
Should be
that's
good. Our
Matt
job's
Dunstone
kind of
going
gradual. I
to
think
likely
should
try to do the same thing and hit this on the nose again, so that potentially on his next one he might have the double. As of now, the double is too flat. I mean, you could maybe make an attempt at it, but it's really, really flat. So if he noses this and then Brad Jacob noses back, then he will have the double at that point.
So our first look at Matt Dunstone here.
Clean. Clean.
Whoa.
Whoa.
A routine
Yep.
nose hit.
Really hard.
This is warping.
Really hard.
It looked like it just hit a spot and started going, Chelsea.
Yeah, we had that happen, well, on all the sheets, but on this sheet as well. And it's just, it won't keep doing that. 1 or 2 down that spot and it'll stop. It's just fresh pebble and the ice is already curling so much that you go from being on the high side to missing it on the low side in a foot or 2. And it's just really hard to anticipate that as a line caller. And it's an abnormal thing to have happen. So it's just a little bit tough to anticipate and to try to get ahead of, unfortunately, for Team Dunstone there.
Got to be pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it's not even a sweeping error. There's nothing you can really do, it seems like. It just catches that spot and moves a rock over, and that's it. That's all she wrote.
Okay, so full 8, boys.
So with Matt rolling out, this does give Brad a chance to come around this corner guard and maybe set up a potential 3.
Yeah, it's not you have some of that yellow on the outside, the left-hand side as we look at it, the back one, but it's not a great chase because your red is almost it's not in the way, but it's in your vision. So it's a little bit scary of a chase, but you might see Matt Dunstone try it if this is made well. Could also throw that run back. They've thrown it a bunch, and if you ever made the run double, you could turn a 3 into a force. But if you ever don't make contact, you give up 3. So it's a risk-reward kind of a situation there.
Line's okay. Line's okay. Get it in there. Line's good.
Guys, just here's perfect. Just here's perfect.
Little bit. Yep,
That's pretty much exactly where they wanted that one.
Good spot. Good.
Really good shot from Brad Jacobs. They lie 2. And it does look like they are going to try that chase, Chelsea.
Another one.
Yeah, because that Team Jacobstone stopped so high in the house, they wanted it to be that high so that he couldn't play the chase on that rock. If it was any deeper, they probably could. But it does leave Matt Dunstone an opportunity potentially to get, they're talking about trying to get low and make a little inside roll towards the center line there and be buried, and then would leave. I think Brad Jacobs will always be able to attempt a chase, but it could make it really hard.
With thin half.
But now it looks like they're maybe switching to this little slash on the red onto the yellow.
I think just onto the edge, please.
Yeah, thick half. No, thin half, sorry.
And is this going back to what you were saying, Chelsea, that maybe just that rock being in Matt's vision, he didn't love it?
Yeah, my guess is that if this was later in the game, you might see him play the chase. It's just he's worried about it hitting a fresh spot again like it just did, and you got to throw that with like maybe a hack weight. So if it ever takes off on you and you chisel the top one, you give up 3. The slash, he's not going to miss contact. Like 9 times out of 10, he's at least going to touch this back one, at least. Probably 99 times out of 100, he's going to touch this back one. So just a little bit of a safer call. You're probably giving up the deuce anyway, so take your medicine, give him the 2, and regroup for the second end. you can make this, if you make this really thin, you can make the same shot. Like, you can actually get it underneath. So I imagine that in a perfect world, that's what he would like to do. But as long as you kill that yellow, it's not a disaster.
Yep.
Hard!
Yes!
Hard! Hard!
This is curling. Does he have any of the yellow? He does, but doesn't really come close to coming across the face of it, and so it'll be an open draw to hit paint for Brad Jacobs. And you heard Matt say there to Colton, big jump. So exactly what you said there, Chelsea, and not much they could really do.
No sweat.
I know. I got to give you a better release. Okay. Okay.
So final stone for Brad Jacobs in end number 1.
Line's good.
In a very solid end, and looking to put 2 up on the
Come
board.
around. Curling. Curling big. Hard, guys.
So a few licks there from Gallant and Hebert, but no mistake from Brad Jacobs.
Yeah, good
They
start.
lead 2-0.
I think that's just it sat for a bit. Yeah.
Comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Feel it. Fresh baths, I'll nail them and I'll get them there for the guys. I don't want you guys getting Stewart here.
Okay, so I like top four. Yep. And then they're going to go guard. We can go tight. They're probably going to go.
So we're back, and it seems like it's a team meeting that has been called here by Brad Jacobs.
Whatever you guys want.
And you hear them discuss they want to go.
In tight, don't you?
Sure.
Or you were going to say the opposite.
They were talking about going in here.
You're the skip.
Let's go.
Mark said,
Just
"You're
a
the-
quick reminder.
Yeah, you're the skip. We'll do whatever you want." Brad's initial lean was to throw it in the house, and it seemed like maybe Mark was suggesting they throw a guard.
What do you...
Basically, they're assuming, and they're correctly assuming, that Matt Dunstone is going to throw a corner guard no matter what they do. So it's not a matter of what the 2 shots are, it's just a matter of which order you throw them in. So you could go in first and then guard it, or you could throw a guard first and then go around it. I can't imagine Matt Dunstone doing anything. Even if you threw the guard first, I think he's throwing a corner guard for sure.
So then what would be the reason for throwing them in this order, do you think?
It just depends which way you think it's easier. So for me, in my opinion, on ice that curls this much, it's easier to throw the guard first and then go around it, because guard placement is tricky. But once you play the come around, it's always going to get in there. So I think that's easier. On straighter ice, I would suggest the opposite, because it's hard to bury around the guards, and then I would go in first and then throw the guard. But it boils down to like basically personal and team preference as far as that kind of stuff goes.
Okay, good.
So the draw is in the forefoot, and the guard is going up, and we do have all the other men's quarterfinals going on right now. They're all available for you here on Home Team Live. The Mike McEwen and Yannick Schwaller blanked the first end, so it's 0-0 McEwen with the hammer in that one. Ross White and Brad Gujju is the Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus feature game, so if you're in Canada, you can enjoy that, and if you're outside of Canada, you can see it here with us on Home Team Live. That one is also 0-0, Ross White with the hammer, and Bruce Mallett has looked fantastic this week and is continuing that here as he's opening up huge against James Craik, scoring 4 in the first end.
Yep, always Brad. Right here.
Wait's good, eh? Wait's good.
Right here. Over curling a bit. Fully in. Good.
Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
think so.
That's a good spot. Good shot. Fuck, your rotation.
Yeah,
Gary.
doesn't have to be super high. It's pretty tight, so... little higher.
Oh, you gotta love Brad Jacobs. This Jacobs team has been working hard this week to put mine and Brent and Tyler's kids through college. The amount of money they're going to owe us when this is all
A little
over.
higher than half. Go ahead. Line straight. Go ahead. Yeah, never off on this line. High half. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, good. Great spot. Shot right.
So corner guard stacked here for Matt Dunstone, and we talked about Brad Jacobs coming through the A. Pretty easy road for them. Not easy in terms of opponents, but just they only had to play 3 games in this 16-team triple. They beat Mike McEwen, Jacobs beat John Schuster in the first game, and then they beat Ross White before finally taking out Matt Dunstone in the A final. For Matt Dunstone, it's been a bit of a longer road coming through the C. They beat Mike McEwen in their first game. Mike was on a 13-game winning streak. Matt ended that. Then beat Joel Retornaz, who won 3 slams last year, before dropping games to Jacobs and Yannick Schwaller, and then they recovered this morning to beat John Schuster for the final spot here in the playoffs.
Good sweep. Good sweep.
Guard up there for Brett Gallant.
Go in the in or the out?
Clean. Low curl. Clean. Straight. Straight. Hard. Okay, it's okay.
I love when they say the F word under their breath, but then to their team, no, it's fine.
Yeah, no worries.
No problem. I mean, you're a skip. I'd imagine you've done that a few times before.
Oh, I have.
Maybe this week even.
Yeah, probably. Just a little unlucky there to dead stuff both of those kind of the way they did. That's really close to being a run double that we're all celebrating. What an incredible shot, and you're off by a millimeter, and you end up leaving both yellows not only in the house but near the center line in that one top forefoot. So a bit of a tough break there for Colton.
Clean. Fine. Whoa. Heavy.
So they bringing this one in the house here, Chelsea?
I don't think they were going to, but Ben just said we're in the ring. So unintentionally they are bringing it into the house.
Got a double and big roll.
So yeah, just a little bit of a misstep there from Brett Gallant. Maybe gives Colton Lott a chance to help Matt get out of this end. It's actually hard to remember Matt has the hammer here. They haven't really got a whole lot going, and they're running a center guard in. So
that's what happens when you throw 2 corners, though. There's not really a way around it. They're going to stack the middle, so then you got to make one of those run doubles. That's just like, that coming in if you're Dunstone, that if you're going to throw those 2 guards, that's what's going to have to happen. So not a surprise there. Looks like a really good shot here from Colton.
That's lovely from Colton Lott. Makes the double and rolls on the rings.
Guys, our nose doesn't play awful.
Really good. You can see there from this angle, it will be visible from the hack. I'd imagine Mark Kennedy can probably see about half of it. Maybe even a thick half.
I think he can probably see, maybe a little worse for Mark from his hack, but
yeah,
almost all of it.
Yeah, just seeing that angle now. You're right.
We're trying to roll a little roll in. 10.5. Guys, honestly, on this spot, I'll take either one. Big roll's good too. 10.5 spot. It's going to be a little fresh, but I'm going to be closer to a 10-2, yeah? That's close. Put the weight right here.
Clean. Whoa.
Ben Hebert calling heavy here. They don't want to roll here.
Curl back. Real hard.
That barely makes contact.
Okay.
So maybe just that increase in weight, Chelsea, it just didn't quite catch the curl the way they thought.
Yeah, a little heavy, and the other thing that comes into play is it going to be in a fresh path or not? So you heard Ben saying heavy, and Brad Jacobs heard him, but he kept saying clean, because you don't want to get all the way off and have it jump like we saw Matt Dunstone's do in the last end. but then you end up waiting for it to jump and it doesn't, and then you hit it too thin. So it's just a little tricky in these first few ends. You'll see less of those mistakes as this game goes on, and they get comfortable with the sheet and it gets worn in everywhere. But it's just that being a little bit, not afraid, but being a little bit cognizant of that fresh pebble potentially.
Line's good.
So ignoring the 2 yellow counters here and drawing around the corners is BJ Neufeld.
Line's great. Okay, you can let this work. Well then.
Lott and Harnden have not laid a lick on it. You need this one to slow down.
We're buried.
And it will stop, but it is behind the tee line and second shot. It was always going to be second shot, but...
Do it, 13, 12 and a half.
I mean, it certainly looks dead buried from this angle, but it does curl enough here. I guess they feel as though they can get to it with back line.
About a 13, guys.
Yeah, it's over buried for sure, but it's the guard's long, and there is lots of curl on this ice and in this spot. So looking for just a heavy draw here. They're talking about a 13. It's probably about 14 and a half to the tee line, so 13's kind of just through the house.
Just a little less. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Got a good slide speed here, guys, so let's get the weight right.
Clean, yep. Clean, yep. Hard, Brett. Hard.
Brett Gallant trying to hold this. He's been on it pretty much out of the hand.
Curl now, finish it. Roll it.
Go. Okay, good. Fuck. Good job. Great sweep, guys. Sorry,
The college fund grows.
Oh, baby. My kids are going to Harvard.
Yeah, I think if it's still in, I think that's the play.
I mean, they're lying 3 without hammer, and there's only 3 rocks to go. So I understand they're a little upset that they left that as a biter, but it's going to take quite a lot of work for Matt Dunstone to make that one count.
Clean. Clean. Curl.
Oh, boy.
Said clean out of his hand, so I don't know that was the throw. That spot when we played on the sheet yesterday was probably the straightest spot on the sheet, so I wonder if they just maybe got a little bit caught.
Something you can, that's fine. Something you can use right there.
Splitting center line.
Love that. Split center, bite the 4. Let the guys know.
Yeah, we've called quite a few Dunstone games on the stream this week, and it's just been that kind of week for BJ. We're used to so much consistency from him, one of the best thirds in the world, and has been for quite some time, but he's just been on that wrong side of the inch for a lot of the weekend. And we see that again there. Just never really got close to where they wanted to hit that stone.
Yeah, you like that? Okay.
So I think you heard Brad Jacobs say they just want this one to kind of split the center line in the top 4. And I think if they make that, Chelsea, it's you might see a little bit of panic out of Team Dunstone, starting to enter into the danger zone.
It's big trouble, that's for sure.
I think you can wait. You're out there, though.
Line's really good.
It's just a little heavy.
To my broom is great, Brett. Easy, line's good. Line's good. Line's good. It's going to overcurl a little. Hard. Get the full 4 then. Go. Go.
Great spot.
Good sweep, guys.
Good job.
So curled a little more than they would have liked, I think, Chelsea.
Definitely. They're saying great spot. I'm not sure I think it is. It gives Matt Dunstone an out here to make this little hit and roll.
If anything, a bit more.
They initially thought that was heavy, so they weren't. So if it was heavy, then the line would have been fine. But because the weight all came off on them a little bit, so they were brooms off. Which, when we were on the sheet yesterday, we learned pretty early on that if you ever lift your broom, the rock is going to go sideways. So we got burnt by that a few times too, and I would suggest that's what happened there. They thought the weight was a little bit heavy, but you need to still be cleaning it, heavy cleaning it, so that it doesn't pick up that fresh pebble or a little bit of frost and just go sideways. And that's what happened there for Team Jacobs.
So Brad Jacobs throwing Matt Dunstone a life preserver here. If he could ever get inside this, 2 is still within reach. But this has to be made.
Yep. Whoa. 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 Clean. Curl. Whoa. Straight.
Whoa, curl!
Straight.
I think that's pretty good.
I think that's pretty close to perfect, because the only thing that Brad Jacobs was going to have is if he rolled a little bit less, he could probably play the chase with the out turn, because he can see a little bit of the yellow on that side of it with like a bumper.
Be a little careful, but
Worst case scenario, what if we went by it?
yeah,
He's got to draw for
he
2.
draws for 2. Yeah,
It's probably the call, Mark.
kind of a normal waiter and into the 6 and
Like
stick
whatever,
it there.
yeah, we're just hitting right here.
I don't think it's more than normal though, because if you do throw more than normal, you can do some damage.
We've got to be careful of that.
Yeah.
That's what we need to be careful.
Yeah.
So listen, I like normal right here. Okay, we're going for right here. Right there.
Wanted to listen to the reasoning there. So
Normal.
deciding rather than they looked at the tap on the yellow to a freeze, which might result in a steal, but he can see probably 2 inches or so of this back rock. So now looking to just pick it, but I love the weight choice. They're talking about throwing normal, because the thing is, if you throw more weight, let's listen to Brad here.
Okay, I just want to nail the weight here.
If you throw more weight, Mark, you heard Mark say, if you throw it harder, you can do some damage. So if it ever over curled and you threw like a firm or a peel and you ticked that top yellow, you could actually double your own out and lose your shooter and leave Matt Dunstone drawing for 3. So really smart weight choice. I don't think you can do any damage with normal. Worst case, it's 2, and if you make it, it's a force.
So final stone for Brad Jacobs. Has to skinny this top yellow to pick out this red. Sounds close. And look at that. What a shot from the Sault Ste. Marie native.
On the button. You probably want to see like a 14 then, eh? Like 35-40. Okay. It's just going to get a little tight.
So not easy here. We haven't seen a draw out of Matt Dunstone yet. And he's drawing against 3. He needs half of the 4-foot here.
And you heard them talking about time, so they don't. I think if it was a path that they had thrown and were comfortable with, you wouldn't hear them talking about those times. So my guess would be a little bit of doubt as to exactly what this path is going to do. They did land on about a 14, and Matt, you heard Matt say 35-40. That would be a split time, back line to hog
Quite a
line.
bit. Line's good. Line's good. Hard line.
And 13-7, hog to hog.
Line's good. Line's good. Shot, Matt.
Perfectly done by Matt Dunstone. Well played end, though, for Team Jacobs. They'll take a 1-point lead in the hammer into the 3rd.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Well, Chelsea, we know that curling is a game of execution, and so far the execution from Team Jacobs has been top-notch. They really haven't missed much, and they've had Matt Dunstone in trouble in both ends.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really been all Team Jacobs so far. And 1 point lead doesn't sound like a lot until you say a 1 point lead with the hammer. So full control right now for Team Jacobs. Team Dunstone going to have to make something happen here. If force plays perfectly fine, you would love to steal, but you force them to one and you get your two back, all of a sudden you're tied halfway through the game. It's not so bad. So big end here for Team Dunstone.
Line's great. Pushing tight.
It's okay.
Right to your broom, Matt. 15-5. Good spot, Pete.
Shot.
Top in the 8.
Fight the 4.
Center guard up for Ryan Harnden.
14-5. 14-3.
And perhaps no surprise here, Chelsea, Ben Hebert throwing the out turn.
Yeah, big shock to anyone who's ever seen Ben curl.
Wonder if you can even throw an in turn anymore.
Line's good.
Gotta go,
I'm sure it's possible, but you don't see it very much.
Yeah, exactly. Like when he practices, does he even bother practicing the intern?
I see him throw interns at practice. I can confirm that.
Well, I was going to say, when you're a lead, in a career lead like Ben and myself, it's not like you go out there and you practice run backs. So for Ben, he doesn't throw interns too much. I just wondered if maybe he skipped that on. It's like skipping leg day.
Yeah.
I skipped intern day every day this week.
No intern days.
Obviously, just ribbon. Although, and Ben will be the first to tell you when he does have to throw an intern and he makes it. He'll be the first one to tell you. See.
Yeah.
I can throw them both. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead.
I did play with Kevin Cooey for quite a number of years, so when you play on that team, you throw a lot of interns.
Line's perfect. Go, guys. Go. Colt now. Break the stop, Colt. Come on. Hard.
That's really nice from Ryan Harnden.
Great shot.
It's the kind of shot that you see here at these events, and you go and play in your local curling club, and it's just not ever going to be possible to bury around a rock that's full 8 foot and still be above the tee line. That's kudos to the ice makers, to the rocks, and the conditions here at the slams. We get all that late finish, and you're able to make shots like that.
Little less.
So Ben will try to follow Ryan down here.
Benny, we got it. Wait, Cole. Gotta go. Line's good.
Line looks pretty close here. Gallant and Kennedy suggesting it might be a hair light. I do think they might be on the top one here.
Lead's good. Yeah, I see. Okay, that's okay.
So you heard maybe a rotation issue there that caused that to curl a little more.
I think you just want to tell
I think the weight ended up being close.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the weight. No, you're good. The weight was good. I was just going to make a comment about Brad Jacobs pulling a commentator curse last night. He said to Ben, "Your rotation's great."
We stay on his top one. I love this, but if we're not on his top
he
one,
did. I omitted that part. I'm not going to contribute to your kids' college fund.
Fair, no, totally fair. Totally fair. I don't even have kids. So
Yeah.
If I don't end up having kids, the college fund just becomes the Cullen fund.
I think so.
I mean, that sounds like a better plan to me.
Couldn't agree with you more. So a freeze here, I think, Chelsea.
Looks like it, yeah.
Clean. Whoa, easy. Clean.
A little bit of a pocket there with those two yellows, so get close to this freeze, you kind of put it right in between those. It'll take you 2 shots to get rid of this red if this is made properly.
T-line.
Curl. Whoa. That's pretty good spot.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, tapped it probably a little more than he would have liked to, but not bad.
Good call, too. The red double there.
Well,
I like your shot's fine.
maybe. It's just, yeah, you kind of got to just miss that.
Okay, let's make yours.
I like mine. Yeah, I like that too. Like, 10.5.
Oh, yeah. Get the weight right. 10-2-ish. Weight's good.
So Brett Gallant just trying to find a little angle here. Short run back. Mark leaning on this out of the hand. And just over curls on them a little bit, Chelsea. I think they were trying to stick that behind the center guard.
Yeah, really well swept, but definitely a little bit of an overcurl. Not a bad result, but would have loved to hit that a little thinner, roll the shooter lower, closer to that T line, and leave the yellow a little more buried behind the guards. Still some work to do here, though, for Team Dunstone, but
it looked really close.
they make this. They might have something going here.
And we know how good Colton Lott is at these up-weight shots. Might be able to get all three here. There's one, there's two. That's pretty good.
Roll to a spot where I don't think you can make the double, because the yellow's in the way of making it the nose hit way, and it's too thin to slash it across the face. So pretty good result.
Yeah, Brad looking at the center guard now. Because I think you're exactly right, Chelsea. It doesn't look like there's an easy way to make that double. And even if you made the slash double, then Matt Dunstone could have the hit and roll underneath.
Okay. Pretty good.
Brad's thinking maybe they can get all three of them.
I think you probably can, yeah. Just feather that yellow, then that.
The other shot's the straight peel, Cupsy.
Up one with, boys. Rip it.
Yeah, this is a scoreboard call. You heard Mark say up one with, and this is smart, I think.
Line, Brett.
Don't need to kill those reds right now.
So you heard Ben there. He's chosen a name for Brad, and it is Cupsy. Brad's nickname is Cups, and obviously Ben, hockey guy. So you get Cupsy, and I just realized we can't do that with either of your names.
No.
Carrie.
Yeah, it's already in there.
Chelsea.
That's super thin. See that jam?
So you got nothing.
That's why I've never had a nickname, maybe.
Chelsea, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really counts. But.
I think it's not your name, so I guess it technically counts.
Yeah. You roll and you kind of stop. Yeah.
Didn't you have didn't someone give you a stupid nickname on Wikipedia with a hurricane or something like that?
The Annihilator.
The Annihilator, yeah, that's right.
Yes, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, whoever was editing the curling Wikipedia for a while just decided that they were going to give curlers nicknames that they never had. It worked out well for Brendan Botcher because they just said that Brendan's nickname was the Botcher Express, which it wasn't. And then the social media team for Brendan Botcher said, well, it could be.
Yeah.
Why don't we just put a bunch of train gifs on our Twitter and roll with it?
That might be a really good shot.
Yeah.
The Annihilator. Yeah, I knew it was something kind of.
I think so.
100%.
In my mind, I was thinking, like the Devastator.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
you're not far off.
Yeah, the Annihilator.
The Annihilator, yeah. I'd never been called that in my life until it was put on my Wikipedia page.
You okay with that? Yeah. Intern a little high.
That's good stuff.
And still haven't really, other than Pete Tedeschi used to, we'd be at slams and he would walk by and I'd say, hey, Pete, Annihilator.
I see this curling 1 inch.
Never quite felt natural.
Yeah, that's Miss Annihilator.
Yeah, I get it right. It's the Annihilator.
Yeah, yeah, come on.
So straight peel again here, you think?
I think so, yeah. I would think based on that ice. Well, maybe not. Nope, they're definitely running this in.
Okay. That's okay. Good.
Gets it off the forefoot, but doesn't get it out. So
good sweep.
Dunstone still shot rock here. I guess Matt maybe seeing a potential force here.
Yeah, I was going to say, not really looking like a steal very much, but for Dunstone, like I said, a force plays just as well. You force them here, you take your deuce back in 4, and you've got yourself a tie game after 4 ends, which it doesn't feel like it should be. It's the momentum's been all Jacobs, so that would be a win for Team Dunstone, I think.
BJ makes the pick, no trouble.
Good sweep, Pete.
Good job, Beach.
Thanks.
course, if Team Jacobs has anything to say about it, there will be a couple of Red Rocks leaving the house at some point here, and they'll take a blank out of this, but some work to do first.
Yeah, not doing anything drastic here, just a nose hit called for Mark Kennedy.
He noses, try and nose back. I mean, if you roll away a little bit, it's okay. It's going to be pretty high at that point, at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a thin double for him. Or we can even roll it like over there even, right?
I don't think you can afford to float a double. He's going to put a little.
Should run really straight.
Yeah. Might get the nose.
So some good insight there as we had the mics for Matt Dunstone and BJ Neufeld left on there, and they obviously know that path was going to run pretty straight, and that's exactly what it did. Mark Kennedy not able to get to the nose of that one.
Sorry, Cupsy.
Good throw. Really nice.
A little bit of an early aggressive scrub. That's okay.
If there's a better spot to roll to at all.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
Get your way.
So just right on nose, and I think if they do that, I don't.
Straight on the nose here.
I think it's a pretty hard double.
It is. It's possible, but I'm not sure
really
if you'll.
thin.
I'm not sure that you'll see Team Jacobs
Probably
take it
best
on.
to roll to here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're thinking 10-5. Roll it in a rock! I was thinking that 10-5. Like, this is the same spot I threw in the first end. So I was thinking 10-5 here. Yeah. It's a little less.
Clean.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Clean.
Whoa!
Clean. Whoa, curl.
Curl!
Curl.
Trying to get this to roll a rock,
Go, 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 go.
and it won't really, just right on the nose, which I don't think
Different
is
weight than
bad.
the other one in that spot.
Oh, that was our initial call. The reasoning behind rolling half a rock is so that if Brad Jacobs makes a roll behind this corner guard, you'd have it to run. Leaving it a little further out there makes the run a slash, and then you're not sticking your shooter. You were looking for 10.5 on that one from Matt. I got 9.8 on the clock, so I think just a little bit big, a little bit overthrown for weight.
Yeah, that seemed to be what BJ said after the shot came to rest.
I think so.
Yeah.
Freeze, he'll have too much space to draw for two.
Yeah.
So first rock for Brad Jacobs here in the third. He's got the hammer, trying to find a way to set himself up for two. Brett Gallant leaning on this one. You don't want to roll too far here. Oh my goodness, that'll roll right out of the rings.
Wow.
And doesn't get the red out either. Maybe just a little light, I don't know.
That was bullshit. Yeah, right? I think we want to be just full four. Yeah. I think we can take a little extra ice here.
We don't even need to be here.
No,
Brad Jacobs can
we
do it all
don't.
by himself.
Yeah, just
that was a perfect synopsis.
Leave his mic hot the whole game, and you and I can go have a nap.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Thinking out
That side of the sheet is where, also where we saw Matt Dunstone's curl when he tried that little slash in the first end. So I wonder if the pebble is still maybe a little bit fresh over there.
Right where you got like.
And it is fairly straight going the other way, so you also wonder if the sheet's maybe a touch slanted towards the crowd.
The button.
Yeah, I think we need more. Okay, just a full four. 35-40, like, I need to give you probably a little less than I gave you last end, okay? Like, take 4 or 5 feet off of that. Okay. Okay, I'll think of 40 for you.
So Matt Dunstone with potentially a chance to steal here. He can get this Redstone in a good position, looking for top 4 behind the center.
You got room.
Easy, guys. You got room.
Room. Count right now. Line's good. Line's good. Hard line. Okay, well then.
Line's great.
Hard line.
Line's great.
Hard line.
So they're by the center, but you don't want to curl out the other side. And you definitely want to have this as deep in the forefoot as possible. And that's a pretty good spot, I think, for Matt Dunstone.
Definitely is. Would have loved to bring that a rock deeper, but because it was coming out the other side, to your point, it made more sense to not. Not that I'm sure that I don't think that it could have gotten it a whole lot further. That was not quite an end-to-end sweep from Ryan Harnden, but pretty close. Really good result.
Like that, 13-7. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, what I would be going for is kind of like maybe a 5-6 feet more than draw to the button type thing.
So this is not a gimme here for Brad Jacobs. Needs to draw a side button for his single.
Yeah, drawing full 4 isn't even so much the hard part. It's you got to get it by that. So now you're going way out wide on this draw, and so they're talking about, again, they're talking a lot about speed. So a little bit of uncertainty here as to what this path is going to do, because they are out in what's probably a brand new path that hasn't been thrown for a draw the whole game.
Keep a broom down. Line's good.
Brooms down.
So final stone of the third end.
Yep.
Brad Jacobs needs a precise draw to score 1.
Getting a little tight. Hard line.
Line's good.
Hard line.
Line's good.
You're a little rub here. Little rub. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Are they good? Will it stop? Oh, did that stop in time? Okay, I guess it did. That looked pretty close.
It looks closer than they thought, yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting. So you see here, they sweep it back, and I don't know. I mean, we're not there, but let's take another look here from the overhead. When it comes to stop, when BJ comes up here,
Rub it a little.
looks to me.
Yeah, like it looks yellow, but I would have taken a little bit longer look at it if it were me. But
well, we're not down there,
nope.
So in any
What do we
case,
know?
yeah, not much. 1 point for Brad Jacobs. We'll be back.
Fresh.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Yeah. Little top, little extra. Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
So even though Team Jacobs scored the single point, Chelsea, I have to feel like Matt Dunstone's
First one that didn't end up costing him, but allowed Team Dunstone to put a little bit of pressure on him. So you have to look at that as a positive, and that hopefully it shifts the momentum in your favor a little bit here. Like I said, if they can get a deuce back here and be tied after 4, even though they won't have the hammer, I think that has to feel like a bit of a win given how this game has gone.
So there is other action going on here at the Bell Alliance Center. It's perhaps 2 of the hottest teams on tour right now facing off. Mike McEwen, winner of 3 events so far this year, and Yannick Schwaller went back-to-back in Cornwall at the Shorty Jenkins and in Oakville at the Stu Sells. So 5 tournament wins by October for those 2 teams, and it's Yannick Schwaller with a 2-1 lead in that one. James Craik trying to find his way back after being in an early 4-0 hole to Bruce Mowat. He got 1 and then got a steal of 1 in the third, so it's 4-2. Mowat leads with the hammer in that one. And in the Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus feature game, it's 1-1 between Ross White and Brad Gujou. All 3 of those games are available for you also on Home Team Live.
Right here. Sweeper here. Line's good. Line's good. Line's good.
Yep, go ahead. Go ahead a little.
Right here.
Go ahead a little. Yep, go ahead.
Yep.
So you heard Ben say at the start of the end he thought his first rock was maybe a little bit straighter, and I'd sort of tend to agree. It really hasn't curled to the center line at any point, and they even took less ice that time, and it still didn't get there.
It's not usually a problem on this ice. It's usually harder to keep it on the center line than it is to get to the center line. So definitely makes sense that it's a bit of a straight rock.
Should be high.
Okay, line's just a shade tight.
Go a little.
Pretty good line for high.
High half.
Okay. High as you can on this line.
Yeah. That's pretty high.
Push in half. High half. Sit. Brett.
A shot.
Yeah, good shot, Pete.
And again, a stacked corner here for Team Dunstone.
Shot, Ryan. Very nice.
That's a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
Sliding pretty good here at 14-2 here. Yep. So you liking that?
Yeah.
Like that? Four guard?
Yep.
Wait's good.
Clean.
Wait's good.
Clean. 3 guard.
So familiar setup here from the second end, exact same situation.
3. Yep.
2 in the top of the house for Team Jacobs, 2 corner guards on the same side for Team Dunstone, and now here comes the guard from Brett Gallant. Looks pretty close, needs to sit for line, I think.
Good.
Not bad, Brett. Not bad all day.
Yeah, I
11-5.
was border, huh?
Over curled a hair, so you're gonna see Matt Dunstone make a play on a hit and roll here. So for Brett Gallant won't be happy with that. The tolerance there, if you were going to miss that guard, you wanted to miss it on the other side, so that if Matt Dunstone is making a hit and roll, it's into the open, not behind these corner guards.
Oh, I don't think so, no. I think it'll be heavier. Don't you?
Wait's good.
Clean. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Curl. Clean. Clean. Straight.
Wait's good.
Whoa. 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 Curl. 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 No roll. Yep. 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 Hard. Very nice.
Really good there from Colton Lott. I think they might be able to get to it, though.
Yeah, I would have loved to roll that a little bit further. It looks so perfectly buried, but it curls so much that you'd rather show him a little bit on the other side and have him have to go way out in the frost to make this.
Yeah.
Not easy, though. Some of our better dressed fans being shown on the Jumbotron here in Charlottetown.
Getting a round of applause. From the faithful here in Charlottetown. It's been packed in here all week, Chelsea, and you already talked about playing with Lauren Lenentine and how that got them to cheer for your team, but they've really been supportive of all the teams here, and it's been a pretty great atmosphere, full for even some of the morning draws were close to full, and it's really been something to see here in Charlottetown.
Yeah, the East Coast tends to do a really good job of these events, and can't beat the hospitality. And the fans have been great. I mean, obviously they're partial to Team Guju, to Brett Gallant, to Lauren. They're hometown heroes, but they've been very respectful of everybody. Lots of applause for great shots, no matter who's making them, and you couldn't ask for a better atmosphere to play in.
I'm thinking my second rock. Just keep an eye on it because I didn't get to the.
So it was a really nice shot from Brett Gallant to dig out that Colton Lott stone and roll to the center. So we'll see if Colton can make a little bit of a sharper roll here.
Straight.
Little less weight.
Hard. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Oh, did they oversweep it?
I think they did.
Oh, that's too bad.
Stayed in the house, so not a complete loss, but those two yellows are causing you a bit of a problem, and unfortunately for Team Dunstone, another yellow's about to enter the house, I think.
Yeah, just too bad that that Yellowstone ended up second shot.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you roll a little bit less, even if you kill that and roll to the same place, it's not terrible because Brad's got to make a choice either to chase it, which would allow you to go around again, or to take a chance on going behind the center guard, but that might leave you something for multiples. But given that they're sitting 2, it's just a little bit tricky, a little bit unfortunate for Team Dunstone.
little fresh. And good curl here.
Little fresh there from Mark means probably a little bit slower. The pebble's a little bit fresh. This path is sat for a bit. So you got to throw it a little bit harder to get it there.
Clean. You can clean it. Clean it. Always breath. Curl it. Curling quite a bit. We're going to over curl a bit here. Whoa. Whoa, higher the better now. Clean. Whoa.
This is definitely over curling, but still not bad from Mark Kennedy. I do think the roll will once again be available for Team Dunstone here.
Yeah, roll and sit second and buried, and hope that you at some point have a chance to make a double and get your multiple point end.
Clean.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa.
Clean. Whoa. Curl. Clean. Clean. Curl. No roll.
And same issue as the last time. Almost an identical shot as that roll hits the Yellowstone directly on the face and the rock rolls right in front of their red.
Pretty much exactly identical.
Yeah. Just can't seem to get things going with the hammer, can Team Dunstone.
I don't think so.
Nose isn't great. Like, I'd love to be able to roll out. Where can he hide? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little... Yeah.
So this is maybe a little curious, Chelsea, going into the wings and chasing the third and fourth shot stones here. What's the reason for this?
I think just you leave too many reds hanging around and then you accidentally roll out, without thinking of it. A similar situation to last end where Brad's rock takes off and it curls and then you might give up a big end. This is a very safe call and it's a scoreboard call. You're 2 up. It's debatable for sure, but I don't mind it and I don't blame him. It starts to get a little nervous if you leave too many of your opponent's rocks in there when they have the hammer.
Okay.
Well, and you heard Brad say he doesn't think they really have anywhere to hide, that no matter what they do, they can get at the stones. So that's probably a factor.
For sure. And if you were to bury, I do think you can hide around those corner guards, but if you do, I don't think you'll be second shot. Like if you're fully buried, you won't be second. So not a lot of risk there as far as Team Dunstone being able to bury a rock and hide, to your point. So that's definitely would have been a factor in that decision as well.
Curl. Gotta go. Keep going. Whoa. Hey, Beach.
So they don't get the roll fully behind that yellow guard, and it'll be a relatively easy chase here for Brad Jacobs.
Even if they'd gotten fully buried, I think it would have been a relatively easy chase.
Sure.
But yes, it makes it even easier that he isn't fully buried. This ice has so much curl that yellow guard is really just too long. You want that somewhere near that HearingLife logo so that these chases are a little bit tougher. Anything longer than that, and the guard, while it's there in your vision, it's not really there. If you hit that guard, you're probably flashing the back rock anyway, so it's not really in play.
Okay, 12.
First stone for Brad Jacobs.
Clean. Curl.
Just a little hit and roll away.
Clean. Curl.
Breckland trying to bring this one over. Will it stick around in the rings here? EJ Neufeld leaning on it. Does it stick around? Yes, it does.
Just barely.
Just.
Yeah.
Maybe kicking it a bit harder.
Just heavy. That brings steel into play.
Yeah.
Could just freeze this. But even then, we still can't make this blank, right? Oh, we can make it on this side.
I mean, my gut's telling me to put it here.
Over on sheet A, a draw for 2 for Mike McEwen is made, so they'll take a 3-2 lead over Yannick Schwaller heading into the 4th end break.
Little less than middle? No,
It should
be good?
Yeah, that's close.
Just a full 8. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking 14 or like 14 to tee is probably what I'm thinking.
So just drawing around this center here, Chelsea?
Yeah, they debated a little bit about this. You could freeze on the wide one that's right by BJ's foot. But, well, they never talked about it, but A, to me, it's a little hard to get there because that center guard is kind of in the way of the path you'd probably want to take. And B, they were debating if they could even make the blank, which they did land on thinking that they could. But BJ said his gut was...
Yep, full 8. Might have to curl a little.
Line 5. Just get full 8.
So they don't want to put it too deep here. They want to make Brad Jacobs chase as hard as they can. And I think that's
It's pretty good.
pretty close to where they wanted it.
It's just dead in here.
Yeah, I think they wanted it to...
I think so.
Get a little bit closer to center line, but I mean, really, you're splitting hairs. It's pretty good. I don't know that he could have made it a whole lot better than that.
12 and a half.
12?
12 and a half. I think 12's good.
12 kills it. 12's the way.
That's what we want.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. 12. 12 is the way.
I heard them say 12 kills it. So earlier in the game, we saw them throw a 13, and that they pushed that rock sort of behind the corner guards, and it didn't quite go out of the house. So the houses are fairly dead. Normally, you would see a 13 easily push a rock through the house, but that's not the case here this week. So the second rock loses a lot of momentum. So you have to throw it a little bit harder than you think you do to make sure that rock goes out. And for Team Jacobs here, that's the key. That red rock has to leave the house.
Clean!
So it's the last rock for Brad Jacobs, trying to secure the force. Got to watch the jam here. And that's lovely touch from Brad Jacobs.
Just curled enough.
Another look there, you'll see that doesn't get out of the house by much, but that is really well thrown, really well called. And
if they hit that any thinner and it does jam back there, Matt Dunstone does have the double available, and it would be a shot for 2. So now, because he got it by, it's a force, and it's not an easy shot for Matt Dunstone. The draw's way out wide. You got to roll if you hit this.
yeah, jam is also potentially in play.
Yeah, there's not a real simple shot for 1. So mission accomplished there again for Team Brad Jacobs. Just been that kind of game on both sides. Things going just right for Team Jacobs and just wrong for Team Dunstone.
Is this good or a little more?
I tend to be more familiar with one side of that equation, but...
yeah, I mean, this week I was awfully familiar with one side of it, too.
So final stone for Matt Dunstone, and once again facing 3 Team Jacobs counters to try to score 1.
Clean. Yep. Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Clean.
Curl.
Sounds close.
Curl.
Do need a little roll.
Curl.
Clean.
And I think they've got it there. Yep, that is indeed the shot stone, at least from our angle. And yep, it is 1 red. So nice touch from Matt Dunstone. They'll put 1 on the board. Jacobs will have the hammer and a 1-point lead after this 4th end break.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because I really enjoyed the small team environment. I curled with the same girls from the time I was 9. basically until the end of juniors. So getting to form those friendships with my teammates is really special to me. I started curling because of my grandparents, and both my parents curled and my brother. So it was just like a whole family thing. And when you walk into the curling club in Truro, Nova Scotia, and everyone greets you, and it's such a warm environment, and it's fun. After school, we'd go and all of our friends would be there. So it was just like such a fun environment. And I got to curl with some of my closest friends growing up. So it really helped me keep in the game, and we all had the same goals.
I know what curling has done for our family, the opportunities it provided for both my girls. Nationally, you know, we've got to travel the world. It's just a great sport. It's a small community. People, you know, at all levels, everybody knows each other. It's kind of a unique sport that way.
It's a sport that enables him to build his confidence and to make friends while doing.
It's just awesome to see when they come here and they see their friends at the curling club and stuff they do off the ice too, and smiles and hanging out and just enjoying their time with friends.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back inside the Bell Alliance Center here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, home of the first Grand Slam of curling of the year, the HearingLife Tour Challenge. John Cullen alongside two-time Scotties champion Chelsea Carey for this men's quarterfinal between Matt Dunstone and Brad Jacobs. Winner moves on to tonight's semifinal. Loser takes the long flight home from the island. And Chelsea, we were just talking about this in the break. 3-2 on the scoreboard for Team Brad Jacobs. It kind of imputes that this game has been close, but really it has been Brad Jacobs in control for the most part through the first half of the game.
Absolutely, and he still is in control. We think of a one-point game as being close, and it is if the hammer is in the hands of the team that's down, but that's not the case here. And it's an underrated amount of trouble, how much trouble you're in when you are one down without the hammer, especially against a team like Brad Jacobs, who just really haven't missed a whole lot, with the exception of one shot by Brad in the third end.
Very good.
So we'll see if Matt Dunstone can get it going here without the hammer. Certainly both of his hammer ends have never really looked like he was going to score two, so maybe a steal is the way to go to try to get some of that momentum back. As we get two center guards up from Ryan Harnden.
And same thing here, you're not a steal would be great, but you're not unhappy with a 4, so you get your 2 and 6 and it's fine. They just need to start converting one of those 2s with the hammer if that's what they're going to do. But obviously a steal would be fantastic.
We're to it. You?
Where are you?
We're there for speed, guys. Easy.
We need to curl. I don't know. Too late.
Right beside is fine.
Okay, Ben.
So again, just a little heavy there from Ben Hebert, and seems like it's been a case of tricky rock management. That he thought his first rock was maybe a little slower and a little straighter, and then he has been a little bit heavier with that second rock. And as someone who played lead and had to manage bad rocks, it really can be just so hard to feel like you ever get locked in when you have one rock that you don't love.
I find it hard. I think the hardest thing is to take off a foot or 2 of weight. And so when you've got your first rock being slow, that's what you have to do every time. And that's just a really hard thing to do. It's easier to add a little bit of weight than it is to take a little bit off. And so for Ben having to do that and not quite managing it the way I'm sure he would like to, but they're not bad results. Like we're piling on Ben here for what's really a pretty good shot. But he would expect those 2 to be locked and on top of each other and all that kind of stuff. That's just the level that we're talking about that these guys play at.
What's that? Yeah.
Straight to the peel now for Brett Gallant. Can get them both if you hit this thick enough. That's what they're trying to do. No mistake.
Yeah. Does get them both going pretty easily and basically loses the shooter as well. So guard back up here for Colton Lott.
Nope. Didn't touch it. It's off it. Very nice. Probably didn't carve it. Curl. Two-thirds tight.
Good line. Little bit early for line.
Hard line.
No, line's good. Line's good.
Two-thirds. Just past half.
Okay, curl then. Curl. Two-thirds. Got to be tight half on this top of the logo on this line. Okay, clean.
Shot.
So guard up, no problem for Colton Lott. Brad Jacobs still lying 2 here.
Think you got to throw like 11?
11 he's expecting. Get the weight right, yeah?
Yep. Oh, clean ball. Clean ball. Curl, Mark.
Curl, come on, we're close. Come on.
Hard, Mark.
Come on, Mark.
Hard.
Trying to get this one onto the rings here if they can.
Come on, you cunt.
Okay, Brad. Oh, no. Now my kids are really going through college.
Oh, that has to be like triple the
That's
fine.
That's easily triple the fine. Bradley.
And as it turns out, it was completely unwarranted because that shot couldn't have been made.
Absolutely
anyway.
Perfect shot from Brett Gallant. Yeah. Rolls that one into the 12-foot, and this is starting to get a little scary here for Matt Dunstone.
Very scary, and that's just a very confident Brad Jacobs. You don't need to roll that into the house. That's I don't want to go so far as to call it greedy, but it's close to being greedy, and of course it's perfectly made, but that's just how well they're playing. So it's no fear from Brad right now because they're making everything.
Firm.
Don't want to have to throw this hit, but you don't have much of a choice. Trying to roll to the center, but they're on this for curl the whole way.
No, they're giving it another goal, but
I don't know. 10.5. Trying to give you a 10-2. They just scrubbed one down here, so it might not go crazy. So manage it well.
I heard Mark say 10.5, so I'm going to try to give you a 10-2. What he's referring to there is the hog-to-hog time. So 10.5 is what they want it to end up being, but because it's a little bit slow out here in the frost, he feels like he has to throw it a little bit harder because the weight's going to come off it a bit. So if out of his hand it's a 10-2, it'll end up being a 10.5 is what they were theorizing there.
9-5.
So this is interesting from Matt Dunstone, going to ignore the one in the 12-foot now and asking BJ to draw around the rock triangle at the top of the 4-foot. This is not an easy shot for BJ.
The rock triangle, I like that.
Clean. Yep. Yep. High. No.
Oh, sorry, they were playing the hit and roll. I thought it was a draw. My apologies, but in either case, not made, so...
Just a little bit of an overcorrection there. Struggles, so uncharacteristic of BJ. He's so consistent, but just hasn't quite been feeling it today. So a little wide on his first one. They tried to carve it the whole way and only got to nose. So either slowed a little tighter or didn't set it as much on the second one and results in the overcurl. This ice is very, very release sensitive. So a little bit of a difference in release, a little bit more set versus less, and you'll see the rock take a completely different path.
Yeah, not good.
Well, we also have, like, it.
You ever play something on this?
Do you ever?
I was thinking this one, though.
Or do you ever just unlock it? No.
Just chip and go to here.
Chip and go there. He's playing this double. Yeah.
Or are we going this way?
That's a good way, too.
Just because.
That's good, too.
If we go this way, I think the outturn draw is his easiest shot.
Yeah.
This is a harder draw.
I love it. I love it.
You okay with that?
Yeah. Back 12, back 8.
Okay. Are we throwing like a 12 and a half? 13? 13?
So Brad's initial call was maybe just to draw the wings again, but they're a little bit nervous that if Matt Dunstone was to ever draw around the triangle, that they could be in some big trouble, so they wouldn't be able to get at it, and Matt might be able to set up a potential 2 or 3. So I'm going to try and jiggle these around a little bit and then roll to the wings. You heard Ben say the key here, you want to make sure the shooter stays and both of those yellows stay.
Clean.
It's not a ton of weight.
Well, clean, yep. Well, clean, yep.
Talking about a 13, which is probably would be just through if it didn't hit a rock.
Shooter. Shooter, more. Pretty good.
I think that's pretty good from Mark Kennedy.
Really good. That had to, the key there was, you heard him saying shooter, and it had to get at least that low so you didn't leave a double. By low, I mean close to the tee line. If it stops there, you're going to see
I'm seeing red on the
a
nose.
double to sit buried, or even a hit and roll to a freeze from Matt Dunstone. But because they're kind of even, you can't make that. So now he's going to look at a combo here with the red onto some of these yellows and hopefully see some yellow rocks fly if you're Team Dunstone.
Right in the nose. Yeah. Peel. Goes right into it.
Yeah, so right on the nose with Peel, I think all 3 of these yellows might go for sure. 2 of them do. You stick both reds if it's made correctly.
So a crucial shot here for Matt Dunstone, a chance to get himself out of trouble.
Hard!
And does get 2 of the yellows going, but actually never really got close to that center one.
Oh yeah, I thought those were closer to being frozen. Those 2 yellows. There was more space there than I realized.
Yeah. No, I agreed with you. I thought from our angle it looked like you might be able to get all 3, but
I didn't look at the overhead shot here. I was just looking at it live, and we're at the wrong end for that. Depth perception needs some work.
yeah, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, that's very true. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just thinking about how bad my eyesight is now, and there's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah,
so.
it's true.
Little more.
Bringing you a super upbeat broadcast today.
We bring you all the finest in curling coverage and existential crises. So Brad Jacobs looking for just a little tip and roll inside here. They want to try to stagger these so that the double for Matt Dunstone is not easy. And that's really good from Brad Jacobs.
Team Jacobs continues to roll. Been a bit of a buzzsaw so far. There's not a lot of missing going on out there on their side.
No, absolutely not. The double is there for Matt, but you got to hit this one right in the crotch, and I think you probably lose the one you're running back, and so it could be a blank.
I think you can make it to stick, but it's really hard to do that. That's what they're going to attempt, I think. But you got to basically just feather. The yellow on the left, as we look at it here, is just a slight bit higher than the one on the right. So you want to just barely touch that one with this run rock if you want any chance of sticking it. If you hit it onto half of that, you're the one that he's running in here, you'll see it spin up and out to the right.
So final stone, Matt Dunstone.
Whoa. Curl.
Clean.
Curl.
Curl.
This has to curl. And he gets it and sticks them both. Very nice from Matt Dunstone. Another look at it here on the replay. Hits it absolutely perfect. Great shot.
What a great line call. He made that look easy, and it wasn't easy to stick that run rock. So really well done, and hopefully for Team Dunstone, that'll give them a little bit of that momentum back. It's just been a real battle to try to get anything going their way. So this turns into a force.
So last rock for Brad Jacobs, just needs to hit this red on the nose for a single point.
Clean.
Heavy.
Curl. Clean. Curl. Curl, Ben. Gotta go. Good sweep. A little heavy.
And nice shot there from Brad Jacobs. So as my partner said, they will continue to roll. 2-point lead into the sixth. We'll be right back.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
Wasn't like it was like it's out of the house. Totally. So Matt Dunstone again coming up with the shot that he needed at the right time to get the force out of Brad Jacobs. But we were just talking in the break, Chelsea, Matt Dunstone's efficiency with the hammer has just not been very good. It really has not gotten anywhere close to setting up a deuce with these hammer ends in 2 and 4, and in fact was making a shot against 3 both times just to get his single. So what do they need to do here to perhaps gain a little momentum with the hammer?
Yeah, they definitely need to convert a hammer here. I keep saying that the force in these odd ends is good, and it is good, but it's only good if you manage to get a deuce here at some point. So I would suggest that they've gotten rocks buried around these double corners that they keep throwing, but they're still available to Team Brad Jacobs on the chase. So I would bring that first guard tighter to the house. And it's not that the guard was long, but you need it to be probably like an inch out of the house for him to not be able to chase it. So that's what I would be looking for if I was Team Dunstone, is just getting that tight corner guard a little bit tighter so that the chase isn't so easy for Team Jacobs. And again, Team Jacobs is making they're not that easy. The chase isn't that easy, but they're making it look easy. So how do we make it a bit tougher for them?
Okay, top 12.
And that's not the ideal start for Ryan Harnden. You heard them say it's kind of right in the middle, not high and not tight. So
was a little light.
will make his shot tougher on his second one, but
It's good.
Yeah, it's not great, but there's enough late finish there that I think you could probably still get around it tight and be pretty buried. Maybe not completely, but pretty close. So
We need curl, Mark.
not great, but not horrible, just given how much late finish there is in that spot.
Yep. Little more.
Oh, sticky.
Tight one.
and again, a repeat of the last two times Matt Dunstone had hammer coming towards us here in the broadcast booth. 2 rocks in the house for Ben Hebert and a second guard going up here for Ryan Harnden.
Yeah, we're tight. Okay, wait as long as you can. Line's good.
Gotta go.
Hard, guys. Line's great.
Gotta go for one.
Hard. Great spot, Pete. Very good. 15-8 on that goal.
Shot, Ryan.
3.
And again, Chelsea, I don't know if that second guard is close enough.
Yeah, I would have liked that tighter. They seem to be, but that's where Matt tapped on the initial, on Ryan's first one, he tapped that long, and I was surprised. Like, I'd be putting it way past that HearingLife logo if it were me, just because the chase has been made so many times by Team Jacobs with the guard, like, at that depth.
Shot, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, if Ryan's job was to draw to the HearingLife logo, he did extremely well, putting the entire rock perfectly in the word bubble there.
Yeah, on the overhead you lose it. Like it doesn't even look like it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
If it were a blue rock, it would be gone. Somebody would be tripping on it. So again, not a great guard there from Brett Gallant. So we've got a chance here for Team Dunstone. This happened the last time, and they weren't able to take advantage of it. And this one is actually even a little bit worse than that. That's completely wide open, that back rock now.
Just make the roll.
So big opportunity here. This is a huge shot to set up the deuce here for Colton Lott.
10-5. Speed should be close here, I would say. If anything, but if any, it looks close to me. 10-5. Little heavy.
So we'll see if Colton Lott can make the roll they've been chasing for so long here.
Clean, straight, whoa. Clean. Curl. Hard roll.
And that actually over curls quite a bit.
That's okay, Colt.
Removes the yellows from the center, but certainly got nowhere close to the roll there.
Good throw. It's another one where we're just not getting the line calls right.
You would have to curl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have. Once it was over curling, you heard them say there that it needed to curl further, and that's if it curled a little further, they would have rolled the shooter under the yellow guard and spun the yellow over behind those reds, which would have given them something to freeze to. But as it stands, that yellow is wide open, so not. It wasn't the initial call, but the pivot wasn't made well enough there to get the best out of what they were dealing with once it was over curling.
So another hit and roll the call here for Colton Lott. And this has been the shot that has proved the most elusive for the team from Winnipeg.
Whoa, clean, whoa, curl, clean, curl. Whoa.
Need that to sit.
Beauty, Colt. Great shot.
I think that's pretty darn good from Colton Lott. Yeah, you can see there. You can't really chase it from the outside because it probably directly jams. So.
Yeah, that's the best they've made one. So now it's over buried. So I don't think there's a chase with the in-turn. You maybe could make it with the out-turn, but you'd have to throw it quiet to not jam it, to your point. So, and you're out in the frost there, so I don't see them trying that.
This might be hard to keep.
Yeah, just going to try to draw to top house here is Mark Kennedy.
Over curl slightly right
and
here.
over in the all-Scottish battle, James Craik trying to find his way back in the game after that early 4. He's shrunk the lead to 2 points, but Bruce Mowat leading 6-4 with the hammer. They are playing the 6th.
Sweep it for fighting, eh? Right.
Broom.
Broom. Curl. 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 Where are you? We still need like curl back here. Back here. Back here. Back here. Yep. Okay.
So we haven't seen too many misses out of this Team Jacobs, and certainly not one as glaring as that. As the call was for top 8, Mark Kennedy almost 5 feet, 6 feet too heavy there.
This is exactly what Team Dunstone needed. This is the first time they've really set up for potential multiple point score. So huge shot here from BJ to kind of cement that. Need to get this. You don't need to make it perfect, but you need to get this roll close enough that it's buried enough that you make it at least a little bit hard on Team Jacobs to chase it out of there and not leave you a double back.
Straight.
On this right out of the hand.
Oh, whoa. Curl. Curl.
Switching here to the roll behind the guard, I think.
Curl. Okay. Good.
Attempt at an audible there from Matt. Knew early that they weren't going to make the roll towards the center line, so tried to roll under the guard, but couldn't get it to curl enough to do that.
I'm wondering if you can make
Yeah, as you said, Chelsea, BJ hasn't been able to capitalize on those opportunities when they've been there. And when the opportunities are so few and far between, you really have to be ready to pounce.
Yeah, that's been the story. They haven't had a lot of opportunities, and the ones they have had, and they're not far off. They're kind of just missing and just missing the wrong way for Team Dunstone, which, again, unfortunately, this week is a very familiar feeling to me. And we've all been there. That's one of those things that happens, but it's so frustrating when you're in it. So I feel for them.
Hit and roll inside coming here for Mark Kennedy.
Close. Curl, Brett. Really gotta go. Keep her going. Whoa. Straight. Whoa, straight. Whoa. Good shot.
That's really good. They lie to, and that chokes off the corner.
Good sweep, a little heavy. Sorry. What was that, Paul?
Coach Webster on the bench taking the times for Team Jacobs. Heard Mark just ask him what that was.
Curl.
9-9, so they were looking for more like a 10-5.
Curl. Gotta go. Really gotta go. Straight.
Looking for a thin little double and maybe freeze here, and just really close again from BJ Neufeld, but not quite there.
Not a bad result, though.
Double back, right?
Tough double, though, if you hit it on the nose. Not easy.
Right there, 10.5.
Okay.
Still a potential deuce shaping up here. They got it. Brad has to hit this, and you heard Mark say it's a tough double if you hit it on the nose, and he's right, but it's there.
Roll like a rock inside.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and certainly if you roll too far inside or you roll a little bit to the outside, the double gets ever easier for Matt Dunstone.
Easy.
Whoa.
Want this one right on the nose.
Curl. Clean.
Straight. Yeah.
Straight. Good spot, Brad.
That's quite good.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best he could have done. As far as making the double as difficult as possible, but it's definitely still there. You could also just hit and roll to a freeze.
So if he makes a really good roll here, we're probably freezing.
I've thrown this a couple times. I just don't know what that's gonna do. Unless you think.
Thinking the roll was my first thought.
You like it with the out turn?
No, I like whatever you like.
I think I like the in turn.
Sure.
We're just throwing this. We know it's gonna finish off.
Like I like the double more, like the out for the double. But if we're just rolling, then I like the in.
Okay. Well, let's make this roll good then.
Like just the roll?
You like make? Well, like, what if we even just do this? Like, where does he go? right?
He goes top 8.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's not an easy shot.
I'd like to make the double.
Okay, well, let's make this double then. Yeah. Yeah.
You still like the in?
No, I think let's throw the out now.
Some mine and ran right through it.
Yeah. Right here with Peel.
Okay. I like that, Matt.
So you like this call, Chelsea?
I think let's make this double, hey?
Yeah, I do.
Like, let's say the shooter rolls out, where's he going?
You could. That's the reason I like it. Is what Matt just said right there. Even if the shooter rolls out, where does he go? I think he can probably pick that red, but it's not easy to do. And if he, no matter where he throws it towards the center, you can chase it. So the hit and roll, if you make it perfect, potentially brings in 3. You heard Mark Kennedy say to Brad Jacobs that if they make the roll perfect, that they would have to throw a freeze, which brings in the possibility of 3, but it also brings in the possibility of a force. So I think this is the easier shot to keep the deuce alive.
Maybe changing his mind here. He always liked the hit and roll. That was his first call. It was more the rest of the team that liked the double.
Yeah. Just make this roll. Give you that.
Board
that
for
10,
control.
I like that 10-5 I've been giving you. Sliver less.
So Matt said this is a smarter call, and Chelsea, you're definitely smarter than me, so why is this call smarter?
I mean, fuck, if it comes up a bit, then...
I think because there's just more possibilities. Even if you don't make it perfect, then Brad has to go somewhere that he doesn't leave you a double. If you make the double and roll out, or if you miss the double, there's no 2 ever. You can make this, you can not quite make this perfect and still have a chance for 2 points.
So Matt Dunstone showing off his curling IQ here. We'll see if the physical IQ matches it. Wants a hit and roll right to the face here. This is curling though. Fulton Lott trying to hold it. Don't want to overroll here. And that will roll just a little too far, so they're not shot stone. And
just do this.
Might be tough to score too.
Oh, yeah, we're shot.
Yeah, once again, right in between. If that was going to curl that much and you knew it, if you had it to do again, you would have said whoa and let it crash into that yellow and hopefully kind of stay on the face of it. But story of the game right there, sort of for Team Dunstone. They're really close to good results and they just can't quite get one to go their way.
Right? It's a tie.
So calling their first time out here, Paul Webster will come out and we'll have a listen.
We're shot.
That's the only thing I thought is if you rolled right to here. Guys, I'm on board for the draw. Let's just talk about how to make it. You could follow my path. Speed was good. Yeah. It's a high guard, man. He can get to the nose on. You have to be dead buried, guys.
It's really tough for him to make it into this side.
So
Very
listen.
true.
If we hit this, it's a deuce. And are we okay with that? It's
okay.
It's just the draw brings a 3 into play. If we even could throw it good, it could slightly overcurl. They make a beauty. It's a big momentum shift. That's my only thing. If we're going to play this hit, how do we make it as hard as possible for him?
Roll right into it. If you roll right into the side of it, that is a really hard deuce.
Lightweight.
Huh?
Guys, you can throw 10 and a half and squirt this to there, and it's still a tough shot.
I agree. You like that ball? Okay. I think that's smarter, boys. Right here.
A lot of smart guys out here, you know.
Just ask them.
Yeah, exactly.
I do agree that it's smart, though. I'm with Brad on this one. I thought again we need to get him up in the booth because he's doing our job for us.
Yeah.
That was very well put. Worst case here, you're giving up 2. So I think that absolutely with the scoreboard the way it is, this is what I would be playing personally. There's no need to bring a 3 into play. If that guard were tighter, again, it's what I talked about with the corner guards. If that yellow guard were tighter, then I think you'd throw this draw all day long. But it's so long that he's probably going to have a chase no matter what, and you maybe give them a chance at 3. You can't let the momentum shift that much. So, yeah, and you can make this a really hard deuce. Like they're saying, if you roll this well, I think he'll still have a shot for 2, but it'll be a hard shot. So I like this call. I think that was well thought out and well articulated. Thank you to Mr. Jacobs for literally doing my job for me.
Curl! Don't hook him. Very good. Shot.
It's pretty good.
I think it's really good.
Set the bump it a little further, and there's almost no deuce. Pretty good.
You just never can throw enough weight to fire that out all the way, I don't think.
So you heard that round of applause. We have our first final out here. Bruce Mallett defeating James Craik 8-4. So Bruce Mallett will move on to tonight's semifinals. James Craik will go home with a money bag and a bag of points. Not too bad for a week's work. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the way that Bruce has been playing this week,
Really hard to stick the shooter.
it always felt like he was the favorite in that one, and tough when you go down 4 to Bruce. They're just so good.
Good week for Team Craik, though. That's a young team out of Scotland that you're going to be seeing around for a really long time. You're starting to find their form in these events. They played in some slams last year and didn't really see the results as much, and I think you're going to start seeing them as a regular in the playoffs at these events.
Yeah, that was their first qualifier this weekend for James Craik. So
you want to call time?
Yeah, let's call timeout.
Okay, so we're going to see a timeout from the other side, and Coach Caleb Flaxey will come out to discuss this.
Like I was wondering if you can make it with the out.
Yeah, maybe make it with the out turn.
Yeah.
Thinking that even if you know it, just maybe work some shot. Yeah.
I think we can overcard it.
What's the weight though? Like you got to move this pretty far.
It's got to be at least board.
Yeah.
Then it's got to be an out turn shot to make that. What's that? It's at least board, or at least 11.5. Oh, I think this is really hard.
What's that?
I got 2/3 here.
Sometimes you, as a skip, you take a timeout so the rest of your team realizes how hard the shot is.
Pardon me?
I need you guys all to see how it looks in the house.
It's a skip appreciation timeout.
You got to throw control weight. Then I think maybe it's there. It looks like it. Like, could you nose a rock with control weight here? Probably. Right? So it's very close to where you got to head.
I mean, I don't mind taking a bit of a chance to get a deuce here. Like, just taking one's not fantastic.
Oh, sorry.
What turn is it?
Well,
I don't know what turn. Is it an in-turn shot?
I think it's an out-turn shot. Or do you think you can throw the in?
We got to make a call.
Well, if you're not feeling it, let's just
I don't see this at all.
Okay.
So I guess the roll from Brad Jacobs must have been pretty good.
I'm sorry, I don't see this at all.
Once again, story of the game.
So what is it about this shot Matt Dunstone's not seeing? Because to me it does look like it's makeable. Does he just think he's losing his shooter always?
No, I think he's unconvinced that he's going to be able to get there and move both the yellows far enough with the only kind of weight he can throw to get all the way to, like, he needs to hit that. I'm with BJ. I think it's an out turn if you're throwing it, and I think it's there. But if you have to believe it as the person throwing it, and Matt just doesn't believe it. He doesn't think it's really there. So they've decided to just make sure they're taking their one.
Well, yeah, certainly if you give up a steal here, it's probably game over.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you're on these ones.
So it's just a draw to the 4-foot here for Matt Dunstone, and it looks like he will come right to the back of those Jacob Stones. No, wow, that really slowed down, actually. But it will be one for Matt Dunstone. Team Jacobs will have the hammer when we come back.
I just couldn't get around.
Comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
That was maybe there, or the play the out turn, kind of get in there, cross it, tap. Or the in, I think all three.
We're stacking and.
I think there was something
not that
there.
smart.
I think
We'll be
the
smart
high
as we
one
can.
maybe, or
Smart as we can.
something.
So you heard when we came back live there, just maybe the tail end of a conversation between Brad Jacobs and I don't think Brad Jacobs and Matt Dunstone. I don't think Brad was trying to play mind games, but Brad said once he went down to the hack, I told Caleb that I would just try the shot no matter what. And I don't know that Matt was super receptive to that comment from Brad, but
probably not.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But we sort of agreed. We talked about it in the break that, you know, this game needs a momentum swing, and you heard Brad Jacobs say that's why they tried the hit in the first place. They didn't want to give any momentum to Matt Dunstone, but the way the game's been going, Matt just really hasn't been able to ever sort of get control of this game, and that was maybe an opportunity to do that. I know that, you know, the miss is you're giving up a steal of one probably if you miss it, and then it's game over, but like you said, being down one without hammer is a really tough place to be in, especially with only two ends left. You know, I think I might have tried it. Again, like you said, you're the skip. You've skipped your whole life. If you're the skip and you can't see the shot, there's no point in trying to throw it. But we kind of agreed maybe that was the time to just lay a little on the line.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd be trying it, and that's easy to say from here. I do think it was there. It was really hard.
Okay.
But so, look, let's say I'm making up numbers, but let's say your chances of making that are 10%. I'm not sure that's worse than your chances of going steal here or force 3.
I got close, Brett.
So, you know, at that point, then do you look at taking it on? But I think it's a bit of a symptom of the game, too, at some points. And I know I've been there before. And unfortunately, that's why I know this, because I've been there before. But it's when nothing is going your way and the other team is making everything looks harder. The 8-foot looks like the button all of a sudden. And that kind of stuff can just get in your way. And even though Matt Dunstone himself has played quite well, he's made a few big shots to give the team a chance, and he's been, you know, when they haven't been able to get twos, it's not been him. He hasn't had a shot for two, really.
Yeah.
But it can start to factor into what you're able to see or not see, because it's a confidence thing.
So we'll see if they can find a steal here. They
Top 4, you can go.
Have never really looked like converting with the hammer and have never really looked like stealing without the hammer, but you never know how this game can swing. It is still only a 1-point game, so even though Brad Jacobs and his team have been in control for most of this game, that's not necessarily reflected in the scoreboard if Matt could pick up a steal here, but
Great shot. Very good.
Great sweep.
we'll see what happens. Nice shot there from Colton Lott. And
unfortunately, usually to get a steal, you need a mistake from the other team, and Team Jacobs right now is just not really making any mistakes. And those guards being offset as much as they are leaves this double peel looking pretty juicy for Brett Gallant.
Yeah, you might even be able to get the red in the house too.
You could, yeah.
Curl. Whoa, straight, shooter.
That's really nice from Brett Gallant, and he's been dynamite on those.
It's, again, legitimately the exact same situation as 2 ends ago, where he makes the double peel and almost touches the boards, but doesn't quite.
Almost as close as you can get without touching it, but it's not going to factor into this end. I always felt like when I played, when rocks were that close, you just kick them off. They're just going to get in our way when we're sweeping. I know you could eventually maybe use it for a redirect, but that happens so seldom that it's whatever.
Never needs to curl.
Just get it out of the way. It's annoying.
It's a nuisance.
Yeah, exactly. So in the other two games that are still going, remember Bruce Mowat has defeated James Craik. Mike McEwen blanked 2 successive ends, the 6th and 7th with the hammer, so he now has the hammer coming home tied with Geneva's Yannick Schwaller. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see if Magic Mike can keep his run going here. And in the Ross White-Brad Gouju game, it's 3-2, Gouju leading, but they are measuring, and I don't know if this is measuring for one or multiple for Team White here, but we'll keep you posted on that in a second. As the guard went up for Team Dunstone and the peel made for Brett Gallant over on our sheet, and it, whatever the measure was for, Brad Gouju won it, and so Ross White seemed upset that they lost the measure, so I don't know if they had a shot for 3 and he just didn't make it, but they got 2.
Are you sure they lost the measure? I thought the measure came out red.
Oh, did it? I thought Robin Bryden kicked the red off first to point that the yellow was the scoring point, and then Ross White banged his broom. So,
oh, maybe.
So my thought is maybe that Ross White had a shot for 3. And
which is, if that's the case, is huge. I guess it shows how committed we are to the game that we're calling, that we didn't know what was
yeah,
going
exactly.
on in that game.
Not our fault. We don't have an update desk here at Home Team yet. We don't have someone tracking the other games for us.
Yeah, we need Jen. Where's Jen?
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Sweet. Guys, let's get the weight right here.
Are they trying to roll on again here, Chelsea? Is that because we heard Mark say we got to get the weight right here? So
yeah, it looks like they are. It's a quiet weight. So again, a complete replay of 2 ends.
Yeah, no kidding.
They made this.
Are we in deja vu?
Yeah,
here?
it feels like
it. Are we in the Twilight Zone or what?
Well, curl! Clean! Curl, no, straight! Yellow! Hard! Hard! Spin! Big spin. There we go.
What did spin?
Wow. Spun right on the rings. Really nice touch from Mark Kennedy and a good sweep from Brett Gallant. And yeah, we are now officially in the Twilight Zone here, Chelsea.
All things continue to turn to gold for Team Jacobs.
No kidding.
14-2. Okay.
Yeah, I think when we were talking at the start of the game about, how maybe they hadn't had the dream start to the season, even though they've, made the semis at the PointsBet and the quarters in Okotoks. I think it was just the fact that in Okotoks they lose the quarterfinal to Michael Brunner, who's ranked quite a bit below them, not 8 or 9 spots below them in the standings, and then in the PointsBet, in that semifinal against Mike McEwen, they got pretty handled in that game. And so I was talking to Brad about that, and he just said, yeah, we're feeling really good. It's really coming together, and I think they all really love how the mix has played out so far this season. And you're seeing it this week. At every game, they've really got their feet underneath them, and they're playing super well.
That's the best shot. Take this.
Yeah, agreed. I think when we heard this announcement, obviously it was a bit of a surprise to a lot of people that Brendan Botcher was out and Brad Jacobs was in, but from a personality standpoint, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he fits with this team really well, and I think that Brad he's a very strong leader of a team, and he's not afraid to be that. And with 3 big personalities like Ben and Brett and Mark, that's what he needs to be. So it'll take a little bit of time and some kind of getting used to and figuring out, but I do think that it's a good fit, and that you'll see this team have a lot of success in the next year and a half here.
Curl back, straight.
So Mark Kennedy looking to get rid of that back yellow, which wasn't doing them any favors, and that's a really nice shot there as Team Jacobs now lies 2-3-4.
Wow. Good call, pal. What a call.
Everything.
Thanks.
What a great everything.
Yeah. Whatever happens here, whatever.
The hot mic on Brad Jacobs is just outstanding.
I would love to have anyone say that to me ever. What a great everything.
What if we nose it?
But great shot from Mark Kennedy. They wanted to make sure that they missed that top Dunstone rock, get rid of the one at the back that was causing a jam potential. And, Mark, nice guy, good hairline. Kind of a great everything.
Great everything.
Whoa.
So a hit and roll here for Matt Dunstone.
Curl. Curl. Whoa. Curl. Straight. 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 Whoa.
Heartbeat.
So he makes the double and he rolls behind the yellow. What a shot from Matt Dunstone.
That's the kind of stuff they need a few things like that to go their way. So that's a big one.
Look at that on the replay. Just
step in the right direction there.
Gorgeous touch, and it out counts that yellow on the side. You see Brett Gallant tipping the broom up because that's lovely. Look at that again one more time.
10.5 on the nose.
Couldn't have made that any better.
No, absolutely
Bad
perfect.
news.
They're dead even and buried behind that yellow one, and that pretty much sets up a force here.
Yeah, the bad news for Team Dunstone is they don't have the hammer here. This would be a great hammer situation for them.
Yeah, no kidding.
Looking good for the force after that shot, though.
Just clean. Easy. Clean. Curl a bit. Clean. Curl. 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 Pretty good, Brad. Pretty good.
Does he have to roll?
Good spot.
That's good.
Good. It's better. You
Very
can't
good.
nose it.
Very good. He has to roll.
I'm assuming we're taking one.
Yes. Yeah, I think we're always taking one, right?
Okay. Especially on this ice. I'd hate for you to have to throw a putt and draw.
A little heavy? Okay,
It's a good conversation there because it's not necessarily that obvious that you would take one and be 2 up rather than give up the steal and keep the hammer. But I agree with them in the sense that this ice is a bit tricky for draws. So if you're tied with the hammer coming home, in theory, you want the forefoot to draw 2, and you're going to make that, and Brad Jacobs is going to make that, 97 times out of 100 probably. But that's assuming good ice conditions. This ice is a little bit tricky, so they'd rather be 2 up.
Clean.
Than be tied so that he doesn't necessarily have to throw that draw. You're hoping that you can force, and given the way the game has gone, it's been all forces in that sense. No conversions for Team Dunstone. So smart, I think, to take the single point just because of those factors. I think if the ice conditions were good, it would be more of a conversation about whether you want to be 2 up or tied with the hammer.
Okay, 10.5, right on the nose.
So it is the open hit for Brad Jacobs, looking to take one.
Clean.
And a 2-point lead into the 7th end.
Clean.
Curl, curl, clean, curl,
Curl.
clean.
Clean. Clean.
And like so many other shots this game, no mistake made from Team Brad Jacobs. They will be up 2. Matt Dunstone will have the hammer when we come back.
Okay, so we'll throw out, turn with.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When I let that one go at 6, I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to really do anything for that. It's kind of tight.
Yeah, that was unreal. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Weight's good, Cops.
Line's good. Get a little light. Line's
So
good.
here we are, 8th end.
That one might curl.
It's been a game largely controlled by Brad Jacobs, and they'd love to finish off the home stretch here, up 2, but without Hammer. Matt Dunstone has struggled to get anything going with the Hammer in the past, so we'll see what he can do, and he's already changing it up here, Chelsea. The corner guard going on the opposite side of the sheet to the previous 3 times he's had Hammer coming home here.
Threw that hard.
Good line.
We'll see if it works out.
It's one of those things where you think you'd want to throw it on the side that you're familiar with, that you know that you've played the whole game, but it just hasn't worked. So sometimes it's more a mental thing than anything else. Sometimes you just have to change it to give yourself a chance to really believe that it might happen this time, that you might finally be able to get that multiple point score.
Shot, Ryan.
Hey, good shot, Pete.
See, they think that's deep, and they're saying sit. I think that's a good depth for you. You can still easily get buried around that, but it makes the chase so much harder for Team Jacobs. So I think they think that's too deep. I think it's perfect.
Sweet for T. Line's good. Go ahead, Gay. Hard line. Hard line. Hard line.
So Kennedy and Gallant leaning on this one, trying to make sure it's there.
Hard, you got it. Hard. Keep going. Hard.
Want to get it around this top one, and they do. Nice shot from Ben Hebert.
Sweet boy. Great. Attaboy, Benny.
Good line.
Oh, we're going split corner guards here. No stack.
Line's
And
great.
again, I like that too. You know, the stacking corner guards clearly hasn't worked for you, so try something a little different. You have to score 2 or it's game over.
Line's great. Very tight. Okay.
The winner of this game will move on to face the winner of Brad Gushue and Ross White. That'll be tonight at 8 p.m. Atlantic, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And for Brad Gushue and Matt Dunstone, if they were to win this game, it'd be their 3rd game of the day tonight, which you don't see too often at slams. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage that.
Really, Max, wait.
4-5. Weight's good. Clean.
I got a good weight.
Okay. Pretty tight. Line's good. Benny's. Yeah, we're a little tight here. Okay,
Weight's good, guys.
Clean. Stop.
Clean.
Clean. Whoa. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Stop for line anyway. Good throw, Brad.
So center guard up, 2 rocks in for Team Jacobs here.
14-6 on Benz.
In the Sportsnet feature game, Brad Gushue blanking the 7th, so they will take the Hammer to the 8th down 1. Here in Canada, you can watch that on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus.
Hard line. T. Hard line. Hard line.
Top 4.
Hard line. Whoa. Yep. Yep.
Just line. Just
Hard.
line.
Nice shot.
It's really nice from Colton Watt.
Nice sweet, Pete.
14-6.
Yeah, I like hitting the guard and rolling in. It's a good call. You could roll in to guard it, but
What? I like that call. I like that call.
They're really loving their hitting the guards and rolling in.
That's been the move a lot of the time. Brad electing not to go that direction this time. Team liked it, he didn't, so they're going to roll out.
Yep. Clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're good.
Ooh.
Just barely good.
Yeah, got maybe a little closer to that shot stone than they would have liked, but
yeah, definitely.
Want to be top buttoned up.
Say 14-ish to T.
Top it. Little room. I'd like you to wait.
Wait a little.
Beach a bit. Go ahead, Beach. Go ahead, Beach.
they're trying to draw through the port around the corner here.
almost behind the T.
T. Go ahead, Beach. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Right to stop. Right to stop, right to stop, right to stop.
Keep going.
Okay, good.
Great sweep.
So 2 very nice draws from Colton Lott.
Probably this, eh?
Really good. This is, again, looking a little more promising than the first couple attempts at multiple point with the hammer. Still need some cooperation from Team Jacobs here, though, and that's been the issue so far.
Just a sliver more, Cups. I think I might find an inch of curl. Yeah, thanks.
Clean. Clean.
Whoa,
curl. Curl.
Straight.
Just lost it.
Sorry, Brad.
You can't miss that by any less.
Really close. They were calling curl, and then it just caught a little bit extra at the end. Didn't get the double, and this could potentially bring a 3 into play. A lot of work to do before that happens.
It
but
does in theory, though, you're right.
In theory, it could.
No, it's button here.
Yeah, so we're thinking probably 14 to tee.
These guards are hooked, too, so
going up pretty wide
can't
here.
play any runbacks for Team Jacobs. Best you can do is a double peel.
And that big roar you hear from the crowd is Mike McEwen making a super delicate, heavy draw through a tight port. Had to pick a Benoit Schwarz Van Berkelrock off the button, and he did. So 2 for Mike McEwen in the 8th. They will move to tonight's semifinals against Bruce Mowat, 5-3 winners.
Just curl. Hard.
Wow. Great shot.
That's really good from BJ Neufeld as well.
Good sweep.
Best end we've seen from Team Dunstone so far.
Got to be fairly quick.
Yeah, maybe they should have been splitting the corner guards earlier. Maybe that was the key.
Yeah, timeout.
5 perfect shots, if I'm counting right.
I think you're almost hitting and rolling off this one.
So Team Jacobs will use their second timeout. Coach Paul Webster will come out to consult.
Roll in,
and we'll listen in.
Yeah, hey, listen, if you roll into here, is it... Huh?
Roll all the way in there.
Yeah, I think you want to roll in here. Yep. That's the call.
What's your weight? How do we make it? Normal?
I think so. Higher rolls better. Easier.
Firm. I'd probably throw...
I like normal.
Say that?
No.
I like roll.
Oh, or normal.
Roll for a bite of the forefoot, right? So if you guys roll right here, maybe hopefully that like stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's normal then.
What's the best roll?
Here.
Here? Okay. What kind of weight do you like, Mark?
I like normal.
10?
Oh, I like the 9.5.
Okay. 9.5, and you're hitting 2/3. Just roll here. What? Lined up? Yeah, you'd almost want to roll to a point where it's dead jamming.
Just 9.5, normally. Get the weight right, guys. Should be close for Broom. Just be careful on the car. Okay, here we go. 9.5.
So a hit and roll in here for Mark Kennedy, the roll being the important part.
Yes, Brett! Hard! Hard!
And that will roll much further than they wanted to.
So another freeze here from Team Dunstone.
So this is like top 8. Still 14-5 to tee. 14-2, I mean.
Freeze looking like a real possibility still at this point.
Line's good.
Room.
Just top 8.
Room.
Little room right now.
Room.
I'd like you to wait.
Line's good.
Room. Line's good. Close.
Hair wider line here than Colton, but it should finish to about the same spot.
Whoa. Really good. Curl. Great job, Beach.
That's really good from BJ Neufeld.
Yeah, I'd like that to curl a little more. Tapped it a bit.
I don't.
A few inches heavy.
You don't think if we hit this on the nose, this
Pretty good
red gets
result
moving?
still, but
No.
Not a ton of time here left for Team Jacobs. They've used both their timeouts and they're sitting at 2 minutes.
Are we
So
throwing a guard? Yep. Okay, straight here. Yep. Straight here.
So it's going to be the guard. Matt Dunstone only sitting 1. He's going to have to find a way to
But we got to be careful we don't leave the hole.
move that yellow.
Canada, yeah.
The thing, though, is, Chelsea, if he can ever find a way to move that yellow,
Try that.
it could be enough to win.
absolutely. I'm going to try to leave this guard really long for that reason, because if it's tighter, well, and even if it's long, you might see Matt Dunstone try to use it to run into the mess there and kill that yellow. Doesn't take much to kill that yellow. That freeze is so good.
I see what you're saying, yeah. Because the top one, eh? Yeah. You think that's a little max ice?
Yeah, it's definitely starting to be a lonely lemon in the forefoot there.
Vulnerable lemon, because there's nothing
Very
behind
vulnerable
it.
lemon. Sounds like a children's book character. First rock for Brad Jacobs, 8th end.
Okay, that's
Needs a high guard. They're calling a little heavy out of the hand.
Clean. Might over curl if anything.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's
They're
good.
out in the frost, though. This will probably come off a little bit.
Line's good. Line's good. Line, whoa.
Doesn't
Line's
need
good.
to curl.
Whoa. Never
Clean.
needs to curl.
Whoa.
So a little deeper, I think, than they wanted, Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely tighter. They were talking about it on the sea in Canada up by that Prince Edward Island logo, so probably 4 feet deeper than they were hoping.
Shot, eh?
Line was perfect, so that part was good, but definitely would have liked it longer so that this run back was a bit tougher for Matt Dunstone.
I think it's just outside the middle.
Okay.
I can't see this going much.
No.
Right on the nose is pretty close, I think.
Yeah,
We're a little bit off to the side here, so my angle might be a little bit wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. Sit the 3, and because I mentioned it at the start of the end, that run back attempt by Mark Kennedy that rolled to be like hooked, frozen behind that means that there's no run back available for Team Jacobs.
So the biggest shot of the game so far for Matt Dunstone. He's been chasing the rabbit all game, but he maybe finally can catch it by the tail here if he makes this run back.
Clean. Whoa.
Curl.
Calling for curl out of the hand. Can they get it to the nose? Yes, they can, but they do lose the top red. So only lying 2. But still pretty good for Team Dunstone. Again, Brad Jacobs in a little bit of time crisis mode here. Only 50 seconds on the clock. No timeouts.
What if we threw a guard there?
Oh, he's just got 8 foot. He's got 8 foot everywhere.
So they were talking about the draw, Chelsea, but I think they don't know where to put the broom for it.
I think they're a little bit worried about the speed, too.
So they're going to be running this back on an angle. Can they get rid of both reds?
About half?
I don't know.
Throwing peel?
Maybe. It doesn't look like it from this side. I think that the yellow is always going to want to, it's sort of a momentum thing. That yellow in the 8 foot is always going to want to go to the left as we're looking at it from behind the sheet here. So I'm thinking it's just the top one, but that would be the extra end.
So final stone for Brad Jacobs with 5 seconds on the clock. This is a little wide. Ben Hebert trying to bring it over. Do they have any of the reds? Oh my goodness.
Timeout.
Jeez.
Almost a flawless game from Team Jacobs. Brad in particular really has not missed all game, and what a time for it. You can see it here on the replay, just gets it a little bit out.
Didn't get a ton of time to look at it.
And exactly what Mark said. They just maybe left not enough time on the clock. You don't want to be throwing such a crucial shot with only 5 seconds left.
Yeah, and the decision was rushed too. They were talking about the draw, and then they weren't sure about that, and then they just ended up having to put the broom down because they were out of time. But I think they would have liked another 30 seconds to even just discuss what the call was and where to put the broom and all that kind of stuff. So what a turnaround. Holy smokes.
Yeah, this game has never looked like Matt Dunstone was going to win it up until this exact moment. He just needs to touch 8 foot, and it will be a 3 in the 8th end and a win. Final stone for Matt Dunstone.
Line's good.
Right there, guys.
Line's good.
Hard
line.
Line's fine.
Line's good.
Line's fine.
Line's good. Line's good, guys.
And that's a loss that I think Team Brad Jacobs will be thinking about for a while. That is a great game played by both teams, and in the end, a stellar 8th end played by Matt Dunstone. 8 perfect shots, 3 on the board. And Matt Dunstone, 6-5 winners. They will move to tonight's semifinal against the winner of Brad Gujou and Ross White. For Chelsea Carey and everyone here at Home Team Live, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in about 90 minutes time with semifinal action. So we'll see you then. Good night.